Jesus. I really need Jesus today. Really, really, really bad. Save me. Prison gates won't open up for me. These hands and knees I'm falling on. I reach for you. Is that how it goes? Did I say any of those lyrics right?
I think some
And
of
I'm
them.
terrified of these four walls. I think I might be the #1 Nickelback fan. No, but really, dude, I actually would love to see Nickelback in concert. I would be so down to go to a Nickelback concert.
Thank you and welcome back to the No Spin Zone. My name is Bill O'Reilly and the factor begins right now.
It's the gospel according to Maddie. Sassy, classy, telling Bible stories with a twist so savvy.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Gospel According to Maddie. I'm Drew and this is Maddie. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you for joining us again. I really wanted to talk this week about, because I've been thinking about how radical Jesus is. I think it's too radical for most people to think. Not that most people can't. It's possible for us all to think this way, but I just...
What's conceivable to them in the moment?
Right. I think though, if people were to do like a lot of work and, okay, the way, I've said this before, the way you react to things and the way you judge things, these are just things that you're not ready to face yourself. You're judging things about yourself that you're not ready to be okay with. Like, who gives a shit what anybody else is doing if they're not harming somebody? If someone's exuding love and you're just gonna... Can I say something? I learned something this week.
Ooh. Knowledge is dangerous.
I know people are gonna smite me. You can smite me. You can smite me for it. King James of the King James Bible.
Not the King James Bible.
Are you ready?
Oh no.
Gay. At least bi. Had lovers aplenty of men. So I think it's funny that people will throw that book at others and say, yeah, God hates you because you're gay. Which, doubtful if you are just loving people. There's people out here raping children. I'm sorry that I said that, but you think God hates the person that is just loving?
I think the scary reality of the world we live in is that it's probably more upsetting that you said that King James was gay,
It's gay.
Than it is that you said that people are raping babies.
I know. Literally.
I think you're gonna offend more.
I'm gonna have more comments fighting me on the King James thing than talking about children being harmed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. That's literally our world.
A hotter topic.
And also why this episode's going to be great. Because are you following Jesus or are you following your religion? Because those are two completely opposite things at this point. And let's remember who Jesus was up against and who killed Jesus. It wasn't just common people. It was religious leaders he was challenging. Because they were being assholes. Because let's go back. Didn't I talk about this a couple episodes ago? The Pharisees not healing the guy on the Sabbath. I think about that so often. Lately, I've been really thinking about my conversation with God in the end and what that's going to look like. Because, like, think about it. Think about it's God and you, and nothing's left but your soul, okay? That's all that's left. Your soul and the experiences you had. There's no Sabbath to observe. There's nothing. So what's going to matter then? What's going to matter then, actually? Let's think about, and everything we're shitting on people for, and judging other people, take the fucking log out of your eye. I don't give a shit. If you're not harming people, well, who gives a damn? Let someone live their life. And I think that's ultimately what Jesus came to say. Is like, you guys lost the plot way long ago. God does not care about any of this bullshit. Shellfish? Are you kidding? Mixed fabrics? That's dumb as fuck. I mean, come on. And maybe I'm on a rant today. I don't know.
Well, I think there's a time and place for all of it, and it's something that I'll argue anybody. Like, I think the Bible is an incredible collection of books and stories and songs and psalms and all of this information that we have the very tough job of trying to understand through a brain. And it's just words. Like, words are always going to fall short in some manner. So I think all of it served a purpose. I think there was a reason that we were doing all of the things we were doing, that they were doing all of the things they were doing, ritualistically anyhow. But then it got to the point that I think the bigger thing was it got to the point that people were being ostracized, and all of these, basically people were being separated, you know, in their own lives personally, just these individuals. And so I think really ultimately Jesus came back to say, like, there was a time and place for doing all of this stuff. Now it's more important that you just focus on doing these things, because, you know, ultimately I think a lot of it is society evolved. I think there was probably a reason not to be wearing garments that were made of certain things. You know, I've never researched it, but, you know, how common is a cotton allergy in Judean DNA
Right.
versus how common is a flax allergy? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
yeah.
there's
Yeah.
because, you know, we learn about
Oh, yeah.
when we had, I think it was during the Christ-centered Christmas, but at the very least around the time. But when we had talked about, like, there's a reason for when the circumcision takes place. There's a reason that people weren't supposed to be eating pork. Now, you could argue that you still shouldn't eat pork because it's dirty, but the biggest reason we weren't supposed to be eating it is because we couldn't prepare it properly.
Mm-hmm.
It
Right.
does have a bunch of
Right,
parasites, but you
right.
can prepare it in a way
Yeah.
now.
No, yeah, you're right.
And we can know, you know, what temperature it is. So I think more than anything, it's important to note that it wasn't this, like, because I think people also treat it the other way of, you know, Jesus coming down and saying, you guys are all wrong. Like, no, I think he was just saying, you know, you had all the instructions, and then somehow you pulled out a part B and C to all of these rules.
Right.
So let's go back to just having these 10 rules, and hopefully you guys can treat each other with enough dignity, because,
Yeah.
you know, also during his crucifixion, we were allowed to, I saw something earlier that was talking about and really describing, putting into words really well, the symbolism of the curtain being torn when Christ was crucified, and talking about how the tearing of that veil was symbolic of the tabernacle and of the fact that there were certain people that could go into the that could go in to see the Ark of the Covenant. And now that that curtain is torn, people can go and be the house of God.
Go and sin no more.
Well,
Sorry.
yeah, but go
Yeah,
and
right.
fulfill being having the kingdom of God within you,
Right.
because people are being prevented from
Yeah. From seeking their own soul.
mm-hmm.
From, yeah,
And from
like
just
you're
unity with
forgetting,
God.
yeah. And I think that's so sad. And
But
I
I think
think
it's still
even
gate kept today.
I was literally just going to say that because I've done so much soul work. Like, here's how the last, I don't know, 5-6 months of my life has gone. I have sat back and asked God every day, show me you. I want to know you. And it's only turned me so far inward that I remember I am a soul. I'm not just this human brain walking around. Like, I am a very spiritual being that God created. And God put himself inside of me to be on this journey with me.
On
And that
that
goes back to my conversation with God. What do I want to tell God when I go back? That I went to church every Sunday and that I paid my tithing? That I kept him locked in these four walls? That I read my Bible every day? No. I want to tell him that I loved and that I lost. And that I learned. And that I made mistakes and that I learned from those mistakes. That's what I want to take back. And I'm going to cry for the people. Because, yeah, I feel like religions now are like burying that. Like, oh, don't seek your soul. Read this book that is so deeply spiritual and don't recognize that. The Holy Spirit, are you kidding me? Like, that is so spiritual. It's the Holy Spirit, it's God talking to you. And you should seek that. You should seek what he has to say and why you came here. And I think our like soul mission gets buried because you're a kid and you're having fun and then someone shuts you down for something. I don't know. Tells you you're weird or tells you you're too loud or too much or sit down and be quiet. You're being too much. You get buried underneath these things that tell you not to be who you are. And so you slowly forget until you become this adult that thinks it's just, I need to grow up and get married and have this job and die. When you came here for like so much more than that. And if you do that work and remember who you are, and you don't need to be afraid of who you are. Like, be who you are, be weird. I'm fucking weird, and I don't care. Because that's me. And I have crazy thoughts, but I think that's part of my mission is to call out this bullshit that I'm seeing. Bullshit you're going to tell people that they deserve to burn in hell. Bullshit. I'm not going to have that. Because now you're preventing people from entering the kingdom right there. Because they're never going to seek God. You're turning people into I want to believe that I'm just going to die and not exist anymore. That's what people want now. And I don't want that. And I also don't want to sit in a place full of, I don't want to be eternally, does that mean, like, I think that eternity being, like, you die and go to this magical place where, I don't know. What I'm trying to say is I believe more in reincarnation than just, as much as I think you probably can just spend eternity back with God, I think eternity's a long time, folks. Again, I have a strong feeling you chose to come here. A lot of people don't want to believe that. God created your soul. Your mom created your body. God created your soul. And he gave that soul free will to say that, I don't know. I think we just. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah.
Were you there?
Yeah,
Did you just fall asleep for a little bit?
no, I'm just been waiting for a moment to.
Oh, you can jump in.
I mean, I could, but you're clearly getting words out, so I just store my shit away in a little vault.
Well, open the vault. I want to hear the vault.
Well, I think the most important thing is that we the biggest reason we need to be aware of what we're doing in our lives and why we need to spend the most amount of time minding our business is because we are ultimately all ending up in the same place. And for some of us, it will be a relieving and happy reunion. And for some of us, it's going to be a very sickening, soul wrenching, um, you think about, for example, when Jeffrey Epstein crossed over, that
I don't
wasn't,
think Jeffrey Epstein crossed over, to be honest. I'm
and that's fine. But when Jeffrey Epstein crossed over, that was a very tough life judgment for somebody to go, for a soul to have to go through,
Mhm.
because if you make the conscious decision to come down here, I can't imagine you consciously make the decision to do that, but you do have to go back and, like, that knowledge you gained, that those experiences that you're taking back to God aren't necessarily reflective of a positive world experience. Um
Oh, you've just hurt generations. I can't imagine feeling that pain. If you hurt a child, you hurt generations. And that's one child.
well, yeah, and it goes so deep, what they what's coming out about these powerful people. It goes so deep, the things that they're I mean, everybody's always, I hate to say it, but everybody's always kind of joked about what celebrities do, and it's kind of sad to see that they are just out here raping and murdering and eating children. The eating children, I think, is the most surprising, if I'm honest, because um, in all of nature, I don't think there's a species out there that can eat itself and doesn't have some kind of negative impact on its brain,
Right.
because there's shit in our DNA that we're not supposed to consume like that. Um, and so it's so sad to me that such a sad life is worth so much suffering to people. Um, because like I said, it's not worth it to your soul. Um, there's nobody on the other side cheering you on, but
Mm-mm.
the fact that these mentalities are so, I guess the best way to put it is, I know that I would blow through my lottery winnings because there's people that need things, but 90% of people who blow through their lottery winnings do it going to jail and doing drugs and getting drunk. And again, no judgment, just it's sad that that is your priority. I guess I had a wake up moment where there are one of two things that are going to happen one day, hopefully far down the road, but whenever it happens, and there's going to be one of two things that happen. I'm never going to know that I was wrong, never going to have any idea,
Mm-hmm.
and there won't even be a moment of realization. It just one moment I'll be doing whatever I'm doing, and then the next moment somebody else will be doing what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Or I come out on the other side, hopefully wiser and more appreciative for all of creation. But the realization I had is that no matter what, one, it doesn't harm me to believe. It doesn't harm me to have faith. If anything, it's improved my life. And two, if it is nothing, if I am wrong, then why should I take away from somebody else's one shot to enjoy whatever the hell this is? If it is all just some random circumstance, some random explosion sent a bunch of random particles into random rotations and the whole trickle-down effect, everything just spawned from some random event, then why are you going to spend yours taking? Because again, I think I've said it before, I've never had a bad day doing the right thing, but I've definitely had a bad day doing the wrong thing.
That's true.
You feel bad when you blow your money. And maybe there's people out there that could say that I'm wrong, but I've never walked away from buying somebody's groceries being really, like, I'm never pissed off at myself. Later in the week when I want a McChicken, I'm a little sad that I can't buy a McChicken, but I'm not cursing the family that needed milk. Because,
Right.
you know, because I've done it, you know,
Right.
and people, you know, people that I associate with have done it.
Yeah.
I've known people that make less money than me that have spent, oh shit. Actually, somebody in my life just gave another person that I know $300. They work very few hours, personally. And this other person is going through some shit. And they gave them $300.
That's a lot of money these days.
Well, it's a lot of money when you're talking. My intention is never to be specific. But just to put things into perspective, when you're thinking on the right scale, it's especially a lot of money.
The sad part is...
I'm not hanging out with, you know...
The sad part is it's a lot of money to earn. It's not a lot of money to give away. Does that make sense? It doesn't have a lot of spending power, but it takes you longer to earn it.
I think it maybe made a, you know, took a little bit of a chunk out of
what needs to be done.
What this other person's going through, yeah.
Right.
But still that, and then on the other side, I hear that this person is in tears. And it's like, see, that is, because then you look on the other side and you've got people that are filming themselves giving a house to a homeless person, and then who knows what's going on behind the camera.
Mm-hmm.
It was all just a movie set. Is it a real homeless person? If it is, why are you torturing people?
Oh, yeah, I know.
For internet views?
Oh, it's a disease. The love of money is the root of all evil, always. And I hate... And that's why, Drew, I think we were just talking earlier. Like, I think, you know, you choose your own adventure when you jump down that hole. My goal is to learn this time. And so I think that you have such a deeper soul that you weren't like, oh, I'm just going to win the lottery.
Well, or maybe I just, you know, if it is all reincarnation, if you do it until you get it right, or until your, you know, soul feels complete, till you stop screwing the pooch. If it really is on a conveyor belt, then hopefully I've just done enough screwing off that I didn't need to learn. You know, like I've made my mistakes. I will continue to make mistakes. Hopefully not the same ones that I've made in the past, because I've done good to avoid things that I've done, and, you know, just being quick to jump into big decisions. So I'll still fall short. I'll always have to work toward being the best that I can be. But I think I'm grateful that part of me seemingly has always known that there's no harm in doing good. Because I think I said it one time. I think I said if I ever did something stupid and I killed myself, you know, you think about like you're driving a four-wheeler super fast and you like drive into a tree. You didn't mean to die.
Right.
How pissed I'd be if I did get to heaven.
Because you weren't.
And that's what I say to atheistic people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I say to atheistic people, because I also at that time didn't have faith.
Right.
How pissed I'd be if I showed up early to the gates of heaven, because they're going to welcome you. When you show up there when you're not supposed to be there, or after living a life of the wrong things, and they welcome you with open arms, it's not going to feel good. Again, that's why I said
exactly.
earlier.
It does not feel good.
Yeah, it's either going to be a really warm welcome, or you personally, and that, I think,
well, because you're
the wording has to exist because it doesn't feel the same as it does on earth. I think, as you've said recently, with all of the symbolism in the Bible, I think hell is the feeling of knowing that you fell short.
Yes.
That you sinned, that
because
you missed the mark.
See it. You get to see it, and
but
you
also feel it in the other.
Yes, exactly. There's no worse. You don't need a fucking lake of fire when you feel all of the pain that you've inflicted on every person and the ripple of that.
And it doesn't have to be eternal because you probably remember it.
Exactly. No, literally exactly. And it's probably and that's what it, like, when you die, you go back to the divine love. That's all that exists outside.
And I think you've said it before, there's probably some people that are like crawling to go back through the veil when they get to the other side.
Yes, please let me back.
Yeah,
please.
They do that life review and they go,
oh my God, I fucked up so fucking bad.
And then immediately forget about the other side again.
Well.
And that's the hard thing, is you have to be, but maybe that's a reflection of how aligned you are with God's will.
Yep, it is. Like,
the further you are, the less you know that you're supposed to be.
Right, and just, yeah. And I do a lot of thinking, obviously. I always wonder if there's like a point where a soul just can't be fixed. You don't think there
I'll never
is?
believe in that. I think you're just, I really like certain people's views on the reincarnation side of belief. And there's this one that I've stumbled upon recently, and I really, really like it. Some of these people are young souls, or, dare I say, middle-aged souls, assuming that you can believe this, reincarnation. Some of these people are really young, or like low middle-aged souls that are so eager to advance that they pick a life of, one of the examples I was given is they pick a life of a broken household, and that they're going to go through drug abuse, that certain events are going to take place in their life, and that it's going to be like a very long-lived life. But all of these things are going to, continuously happen. And they jump in, and then they get through a certain portion of it, and then they punch out themselves, and they get to the other side, and now they have to relearn things because they basically jumped in for too much. And it's never an excuse for your behavior on earth.
No.
I think people try to frame faith, religion, spirituality as an excuse for what you're doing here. It's never an excuse for how you choose to live your life, but I think it is an explanation for some of these people get so far off the plot, I think, because they sign up for so much,
Yeah.
I even hate to say it, but I think it's a very good example that you have people like, dictators that they are on this path to be, maybe this guy was on a path to be the world's greatest chef, and he had an experience where his dad was a little too drunk when he was growing up, and then all of a sudden he really started hating the peasant class, and so he grows up and becomes a bureaucrat because he just disdains the peasant class, and so he raises the taxes in the area, and he would have never done any of that. That wasn't his soul contract, but he got so far off the plot because he was hurt so much by another person.
Yes, and free will.
Free will.
Free will is free.
Yeah.
It will always be. And I think this actually reminds me of a story in the Bible, Joseph, who got betrayed by his brothers. They were like, fuck your dream. We're going to sell you. And then he gets sold and then he goes to prison. But it says a bunch of times, and the Lord was with him. And I think, yes, your free will, like your plan might get hijacked, but God's never gonna leave you. He's always there and he's always going to try to get you back onto the path. You just have to always be soul seeking. Don't ever, I mean, if you remember now, okay, I was going to say, don't ever forget that you have a soul, but we all do. We all do and until you remember. But then when you remember, well, you won't ever forget. You won't. You can't.
You can't afford to.
You will not see the world the same. It's impossible. So, but I don't know. I like really, yeah, your shit can get fucked by somebody else's free will. Their choice to do what they wanted to do. And that wasn't part of what you signed up for. But God never leaves you, and he's always there to remind you what you came here for. And who you are. Beyond your thoughts, beyond your brain, beyond all of that, because you are not your thoughts. You are not your mind. You are a soul.
A really good quote from something C.S. Lewis wrote that I saw right before we started filming from the video you showed me. Somebody commented it. You don't have a soul. You have a body temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I may have missed some wording, but that's the idea, is that you don't have a soul.
You are a
soul that has a body.
Yep.
And I have always felt in my soul, I've gone through so many different worldviews. I've gone through so many different phases of my life. I may continue to do so. I'm young yet. I have never, in any part of me, felt, and I've attended multiple church services for Catholicism, for non-denominational churches, for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I've attended so many different things, and the one idea that God never allowed to sit with me as a set truth is the existence of a place that your soul spends tormented for eternity.
Yep.
Because
Same.
I've always felt if there is a God benevolent enough to create the universe, then why would any of that infinite energy be spent harming what you knew was going to happen?
Yep. Yes.
That doesn't mean that God has to be happy with what you are going to do, but would not spend eternity harming you for it.
He doesn't need to.
Because I think you have the capacity to do that to yourself.
Yes.
And you have the capacity to make up for it.
Yep. If anything, he would just shut your energy down.
Yeah.
He would just have you not exist anymore. Because you're right. And if you read the fucking Bible, dude, he's so gracious. And no, he wouldn't spend eternity burning you. And I think the language used in the Bible when they say that is, again, God does not need to put you into a literal lake of fire when you get to feel all of the pain you inflicted on every soul and beyond.
And if you did enough damage, you probably spend what feels like an eternity feeling that shit.
Exactly.
Feeling that way.
Exactly.
Because I think it was actually the video that you showed me. I got right into the part before we started filming. Maybe it was a different video I was watching, but I'm pretty sure it was one you showed me. Actually, I'm 100% sure. He started talking about how all of these writers, all of these prolific writers from anything that's been written, the Bible, the manuscripts, the Tao, anything that is, especially these ancient writings.
Yep.
Is people, and even modern people, I just don't read a lot of modern,
philosophers.
Thank you. Modern
Mhm.
philosophy. I don't read a lot of it. But even modern philosophy, people have to describe the indescribable with the human brain.
Mhm.
And something that's bigger than the human brain has to be contained within it
Yeah.
and do that and try to translate that. And that's why I think for anybody who's interested or anybody who's done any, I really like listening to, because I try to have an open mind about things, you know.
Mhm.
You don't have to put chocolate in mac and cheese. Like, you don't
It
have to.
is kind of really good when you do that.
I'm just saying you don't have to.
Okay.
But I think
I
having an
get
open
it.
mind with certain things in life is important. And so I watch a lot of and listen to a lot of near death experience content, and I think the fact that so many of these people share the same thing, which is all of these words that we use are similar because you just can't explain things like that on the other side. You know, you can't. I think there's a lot more symbolism to, if you see the face of God, you die, because I don't think you can conceive of what the quote unquote face of God is. I think I said it on an episode. It was either last week or the week before. I do believe it was recent, but I think I said it, that God created your soul, who you are. You are created in God's image, who you are. All of these bodies are made to be a vessel for who we are, you know. And so seeing somebody's soul, seeing God, you know, I just don't think that that's conceivable. I don't think we're able to understand what that is. And when you're doing the wrong things, when you're seeking the wrong things, the damage that you're doing to something that you can't even understand, I think it is infinitely important that we are always spreading love. But I think it's equally important that we are doing right by ourselves and our families and the people we love as well. Um, Love goes beyond a feeling, it's the actions that you do for the people in your life. So, if your dad needs help mowing the lawn, then mow the lawn. If your mom needs help bringing in groceries, bring in the groceries. If your grandma needs a can of beans from her pantry downstairs, then grab the can of beans for her. One, you only get one shot to love all of them from what we know, and two, it's worth it every time. But also, loving the people around you means maintaining employment, um, building for your future, being prepared for things that you can't plan for. Um, you know, being financially ready for disaster. Literally anything could happen at literally any moment, and we should never worry about it, but that doesn't mean we can't be prepared for it. Um, you know, you should never buy a generator because your power went out. Hopefully, if your power goes out, you have the money to buy a generator, but you should never buy the generator because your power goes out. You should never pray because you need something from God. You should buy a generator because you live in an area where your power could go out. And you should pray because you love that you're able to be alive, in the hopes that God will hear that you're thankful. And those things build for not only your future life, but your future relationship with God, that we don't start trying to figure it out when it happens. We start planning when we know that it could happen. Don't keep all your eggs in a glass basket.
Ooh, I like that one. Don't keep all your eggs in a glass basket. And don't go throwing stones at it either.
Yeah, don't throw stones at a glass basket full of eggs. You can lead a glass horse to water, but you can't teach it to fish.
You can't do that. I was thinking just yesterday about when Jesus talks. I think this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 40.
47.
It's when he talks about two will be in the field.
Oh, right.
One will be taken.
And one will be left.
A lot of people are like, yeah, one's gonna be raptured into the sky. Okay, if that's what you want to believe. I personally believe it means that throughout life, there will be some that realize the kingdom within, that seek their soul and find it, and there will be some that don't. And I know he's talking about his second coming during this, but this applies. Jesus is not going to come on the clouds. He says that. He says that in Luke chapter 17. I'm pretty damn sure it's chapter 17. He's like, the kingdom's not, it's not going to be something you can say it's over there or it's over here. It's because the kingdom is within you. So I think really he's like, yeah, I'm going to come back, baby, but it's going to be in your heart. You're going to realize that you are a divine being experiencing this little blip in life, in your soul's life. That's just me. I don't know. And again, maybe I'm just the dumbest girl to ever exist and I read these things completely wrong. And smite me for it. I don't care at this point. You know, Jesus was out there flipping tables and he was out there healing on the Sabbath and he was, you know, being radical with the way that he lived and loved. And that's how I want to be, because it is how I am. It's how I am and it's how I've always been, and I'm not going to shut that down. No one can make me. And you know what? I thought about something. Because I get in trouble a lot at work. I get in trouble for talking too much to our consumers. Because I'm a secretary, okay? I'm just a damn secretary. And I'm supposed to check them in, tell whoever they're there for that they're there, and shut the window on them and tell them to get away and go sit down. I work at a mental health place, thank you. And I'm sorry, I don't judge people. Ever. I never do. I'm sorry. Well, that's so fucked up because, like, if you touch a child, I'm judging you. Like, there's no excuse. Sorry. You're actually stupid. I don't care. Anyway. But I enjoy talking to these people. I enjoy when they come in and tell me about their week, their life, what's going on. Like, I like that. But I get in trouble for that because, well, to be honest, I don't know. And that's part of me is I have to know the why of something for me to be able to, like, do it. Like, because I'm not going to stop. One of my coworkers said to someone the other day, we need to teach Maddie how to be more bitchy. And you know what I told Mom? I said, if I was someone else, because I know who I am and I'll never change, but if I was someone else, this is a villain origin story. Am I wrong? This is how villains are made. You take someone that's super sweet. Who cares if she talks to someone for 10 minutes before their appointment? Is my work getting done? Yes, it is. If the phone's ringing off the absolute hook, that's crazy. Like, then I'll stop talking. But there's 3 to 4 more people sitting behind me at this point. Like, you can answer the phone. I'm sorry. Like, they sit on their cell phones. That's not working. So what does it matter? And my coworker that sits next to me was like, well, if you say something wrong that, like, triggers them and causes something. I'm like, me? Me? Okay. You're talking from fear now. Because to me, there's nothing I could say to I'm not like other people. I just like to talk to you. I just like to know about your day. There's, like, what am I going to fucking say? So, you know what? I challenge rules, especially ones that go against humanity. These people are humans, and a lot of times don't have anybody to talk to. And I like hearing about their lives. We all come from somewhere. We all have a story. All of us. There ain't a damn person here that doesn't have a something interesting. Your whole life it made you who you are. I don't know. So, whatever. Again, like, see, I've done a lot of soul seeking, and I feel like that's like my soul archetype is like the person that fucking calls out this bullshit. Because I can't have it. I hate it. I hate injustice. I hate just what are you fucking doing? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? I'm sorry. It's just gotten so out of hand. Again, we've lost the plot so badly. It's so badly lost. You need to operate on love, and it's radical love. It's radical love. It's love a lot of people don't want to have. And that goes for all sides. Like, everybody needs to love everybody. It's respect where you are, respect who you're around, respect where you're going, all of it. Maybe I'm dumb. I'm just saying, I'm trying to live more like Jesus. And he really seemed just like a chill guy that was like, we all need to chill the hell out and love each other. Because what's the point? There's no other point. We're all just making each other miserable here. Like, literally, just making each other miserable. That's cool. The more you seek inward, the more love pours out of you. And that's a damn fact, honey. That's a damn fact. It sounds so backwards, right? But it's the truth. Like, if everybody as a collective started seeking inward, seeking their soul, doing this shadow work, like looking at the bullshit that you've covered up with this illusion of this fear matrix that we live in, seek your soul and you'll find that it's just love. Capital LOVE. Anyway, I think we went off the rails this week.
It happens sometimes. That'll happen.
I kind of liked it, though. I kind of liked where it went. Do you have any last words? I'm noticing that you're in severe pain, so we're gonna... Drew deals with severe sciatic pain. Soon we're gonna have a bungee suspension for him so he doesn't have to feel anything while we film. How does that sound, Drew?
73 more years. 73 more years, I got this.
You got this. You could do a total hip replacement.
No, my issue is my spine.
Why don't we just do an episode where you're hanging, on the thing for a whole episode? Does that help?
I don't think so. I think that might hurt.
I would try it.
Well, so many of my muscles would be engaged.
Well, no, you got to relax all the way.
I wouldn't be able to.
You have to.
Understand.
You have to.
I wouldn't be able to.
Well, that's your mind telling you that.
Yeah?
Again, this whole episode is about soul work. What are you going to do? Sit back and not do it?
Well, my soul probably is doing plenty of relaxing.
Oh.
My body, however...
No. Obviously, your soul's not relaxed if your body's tense.
My soul is spending a lot of time out of office.
Yeah, I know that. You need to bring it home. Bring the soul home.
It seems to be enjoying being out of office more than in office.
It needs to be in office.
It's getting paid to be out.
Oh my god. Is it on, like, paternity leave?
It's on sciatic leave.
Jeez.
I'll come back when this.
Yeah, bring the soul
pain.
home, and then maybe the sciatic pain will go away.
That's true. Maybe my silver cord is in my sciatic nerve.
It's a chakra. Maybe you need to heal it.
Oh, that's true.
Hey.
Yeah.
Jesus was meditating as fuck. I bet he was aligning those bitches every day. Just I don't know anything about that type of stuff, but
alignment.
I feel like there is probably something there.
Yeah. Just Western medicine.
I don't know.
Ibuprofen.
It's probably where all of the
West.
That's actually the chakra that holds all of the that you've done in your life.
That's not going in.
Okay. That's the chakra that holds
all of your experiences.
I could just bleep it.
It's got all of my depression and anxiety is in that chakra.
So you need to crack it open. Go home and pray tonight and say, God, I need help with this. Clear this chakra, right? I don't know how all of this works. Maybe we need to start looking into that. Oh, Maddie, she's doing witchcraft.
Burner.
Oh, shut up.
Just
you wait, people. We're going to be drinking peyote tea on this bitch. Next week's episode.
Next week's episode, I'm doing solo in Salem, Massachusetts.
Next week's episode, I'll drink peyote while you do the Salem. We'll FaceTime.
Oh, no, I was making the joke that because you're doing witchcraft.
You're going to kill me next week?
Well, Salem is, not me. I do not cast stones.
I don't cast stones. Yeah, no, they come to kill me. I don't care.
Let's do the Epstein trials. Hear me out.
Okay.
We're going to do the United States Epstein trials.
Okay.
Everybody who was on the list in a bad way, not the victims, obviously. We're going to drown them.
Yep.
And we're going to burn them at the stake.
Exactly.
Hear me out.
Right.
If they get out of the, like, if they don't burn to death, and if they don't drown, then they're guilty and they go to prison.
Yes. Dude, that's awesome.
If they do burn to death,
they were innocent.
Or they do drown, they were innocent.
They were innocent and we just killed someone. We just murdered people.
Shoot.
Dang it.
Shucks.
Well,
if we put them in a lion's den, if the lions eat them, they were innocent.
Yep.
If they don't eat them, guilty, they go to prison.
Exactly. We gotta make sure the lions haven't eaten in a few weeks.
Yeah. The lions are always very hungry.
Yeah, no, I actually, this is a great plan, Drew.
That was the most messed up thing about the witch trials.
I know that.
If they float back to the surface of the lake, then we have to burn them at the stake because clearly they're a witch. If they drown, then shoot, they weren't a witch. Dang it.
Like, again, fear collapses high order reasoning and processing. You want to know I've been doing a lot of research into child sacrifice? I know that's crazy. But, like, where does child sacrifice come from, bro?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, because even as recent as the Aztecs were doing it.
Yeah, and people like to say, like, oh, la-da-da, no, it was just they wanted to sacrifice to gods. To, like, because it's an innocent being, which you can say that. But also we need to think, why would they even begin to think that God would want an innocent being like a baby? Listen, because God wasn't saying that. He never fucking said that. People were doing that. Think about this. Child or infant mortality rate was so absurdly high. It was like 30 to 50% of babies were dying. So literally, it was like every other baby was dying. So think about it. You're in this village and every other baby is dying. You're fucking scared to have a baby. You're probably terrified to even have a baby. Okay? Remember, fear collapses high order reasoning and processing. So you're not going to be able to think of any smart ideas to fix this. So you in your scared little trauma brain, you're like, oh, well, if God is killing every other baby, he must want babies. Let's give him babies. So they started giving babies. Yep. And so I think it's really stupid if you're doing it now because not even the ancient people were doing it to, like, it wasn't doing anything for anyone. They just were traumatized. So if you're out here sacrificing babies, you're really dumb. At least those people were traumatized, not trying to excuse it, but at least they had real trauma. You're just doing it because you're stupid.
You're just doing it because you're a billionaire.
Exactly. And I think fear collapses high order reasoning and processing, and money collapses high order reasoning and processing. The richer you get, the dumber you get.
Well,
because you don't have to think about anything anymore.
And you start doing more dangerous things.
Yeah. Because probably you could do think about, you have all the money in the world, you could do anything you want, and you're probably going to get bored. Dopamine addiction is a real thing. It's why porn addiction leads to child porn. Like, it's a real fucking, because your dopamine's getting fucking hijacked, and have fun in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of your brain.
Take care of your brain.
Take care of your brain. Watch what you're doing. Sit back and be bored sometimes. Literally stare at a fucking leaf on a tree for like 30 minutes a day. You know what I like to do? Because there's certain leaves on trees. I've always loved this about trees. Why? It'll be like a little windy, but not even really sometimes. And you'll look and there's one leaf that's like, I love those. So
Just doing their thing.
yeah, like, hi, I'm having my moment to shine. Main character energy right there. So go do that. Or watch paint dry, or watch ants build a hill. Because you are so fucked up with the dopamine in this day and age. It's ruining society.
And you just have to be okay being bored.
Yeah, you do. And it's okay to be bored.
Mhm.
Yeah. Go make shapes with the clouds.
Like that whole thing that, I mean, this is a couple years ago now, but that whole thing where people were like, people are raw dogging flights. Like, you do understand there was a time where, when, like, I don't know, flight was invented, where people were maybe reading a newspaper and flying from New York to London
And smoking hella
in
cigs, though,
slower
dude.
planes.
They were probably smoking hella cigs. It was Stoke Central on the plane, but that's fine.
There were still people flying that didn't
They didn't
smoke.
even have the flight tracker.
Think
Because
about-
that's what I do on the plane.
Yeah. Think about the people who didn't smoke. There were people just staring out the window of the plane for 12 hours.
I kind of like to raw dog the plane flight. Besides watching the tracker, like, I won't lie.
Besides hearing it.
I
do find myself listening to music because I do like the sound of the engine. I usually get really unlucky and I'm like right behind the wing or right on top of the wing.
Oh, okay.
I never usually get lucky and am in front of the wing. So I do like music, but other than that, like, I don't need to watch, I don't need to play, I don't need to read.
Right, I just sit there. I watch the flight tracker over and over. It kind of goes through the little screens of the
Mhm.
flight tracker, and I just watch that. I like to see how fast the plane's going,
Yeah.
how high the plane is. I don't know. And that's what I do for
The
my
temperature,
planes.
I love the ones that have the temperature.
Yes, because it gets
It's
cold
negative
as shit.
30 out there.
Yeah, it gets cold as shit out there. I would like to also see oxygen level. That'd be cool.
That would be really cool.
Mm.
There's 14% oxygen up here. Oh,
Oh,
Oh.
open a window?
yeah. Does somebody want to let the air out?
You want to do a little...
It's getting a bit stuffy in this aircraft. Somebody just opens the emergency exit.
All right, we should wrap this shit
All
up. We've
right,
gone
wrap.
way off.
All right, rap guy.
Okay.
Thank you for watching the Gospel According to Maddie this week. My name's Drew, and of course, this is Maddie. I really appreciate you having me on this week. We might have gone a little bit off the rails.
We might have
but-
sinned a little bit.
No,
we didn't sin.
Whoa.
We didn't miss the mark.
No.
No. We just maybe derailed.
Yeah, maybe the train was on some rails and then
And then maybe was trying to drive on a racetrack.
lake.
I was going to say lake. Damn, that was...
In a lake. God wanted us to say that this train
went a little
was in
Polar
a lake,
Express like
Yeah.
there.
but it wasn't frozen because we
Mhm.
weren't in the North Pole.
Exactly. We were in the middle.
Kentucky.
Oh my god. Again. All right, so
I'm stealing them.
you're stealing
You're
them out of my
thinking
brain.
of words and I'm
and you're-
just taking
We
them.
could keep going. No. All right. Well, cheers, and we'll see you next time when we talk about the origin of frogs.
Meow.
We'll see you next time when we talk about why and how cotton candy was invented, discovered, created.
Join us next time when we talk about how 2x4s are made.